May 16, 2023, 2:43 a.m. Kyiv, Ukraine. Air raid sirens activate across the capital. Ukrainian air defense systems detect multiple incoming threats. High-speed contacts. Ballistic trajectory. The signature is unmistakable. Kinzhal. Russia's Kh-47M2 hypersonic aero-ballistic missile. Launched from MiG-31K interceptor. Speed, Mach 10 plus. Range, 2,000 kilometers. Claimed to be unstoppable. Immune to interception. The weapon Russia says no air defense can defeat. 6 Kinzhal missiles inbound. Target Kyiv. Strategic objectives and civilian infrastructure. Time to impact, 3-4 minutes from launch detection. Ukrainian air defense has seconds to respond. At 2:44 a.m., American-supplied Patriot air defense system activates. Radar locks on to incoming targets. Fire control computers calculate intercept solutions. PEC-3 missiles launch. Multiple interceptors per target. The mathematics of missile defense at hypersonic speeds. 2:47 a.m. 6 Kinzhal missiles targeted. All 6 intercepted and destroyed. 0 reached their targets. The unstoppable weapon stopped completely. Russia's hypersonic advantage shattered in 4 minutes. But whether this single engagement proves hypersonic missiles are overrated depends on questions both Russia and America are avoiding. This is Military Report, where we analyze the battles that change wars. Kh-47 invincible, Kinzhal. Russian designation for dagger. NATO reporting name, Killjoy. Development began 2010. Vladimir Putin personally announced invincible weapon that can penetrate any air defense. Claims Mach 10 plus speed. Maneuverable during flight. Immune to interception. Technical specifications, Russian claims, launch platform, MiG-31K fighter jet, modified MiG-31 interceptor, length 8 meters, diameter 1 meter, weight 4,000 units, warhead 500 kilodurs, conventional or potential nuclear speed, Mach 10, 12,000 plus kilometer H, range 2,000 kilometers, guidance, inertial plus terminal active radar seeker, flight profile, ballistic arc with aerodynamic maneuvering, cost, estimated $10 to $15 million per missile, unconfirmed. Russian propaganda emphasizes hypersonic speed makes interception impossible. Even if detected, existing air defenses can't react fast enough. The missile's kinetic energy alone, even without warhead detonation, destroys targets. Revolutionary weapon. Game changer. Unstoppable. Western analysts initially cautious. Kinzhal is actually air-launched ballistic missile, not true hypersonic cruise missile. Follows predictable ballistic trajectory with some maneuvering. Hypersonic describes speed, not necessarily capability. But speed is still formidable. And Russia's claims untested until deployed in combat. March 2022. Russia begins using Kinzhal in Ukraine. Early strikes target, ammunition depots, fuel storage, military infrastructure, Western Ukraine mostly, areas without sophisticated air defense. The weapon works, hits targets, delivers promised destruction. But Ukraine's air defense is limited. S-300 systems from Soviet era, some NASAMS from West. No Patriot systems yet. Can't intercept Kinzhal. Not because Kinzhal is unstoppable. Because Ukraine lacks systems designed for ballistic missile defense. Russia interprets this as validation. Kinzhal is invincible. No air defense defeated it. Therefore, no air defense can defeat it. The logic is circular but goes unchallenged. Western intelligence remains skeptical but has no hard data proving otherwise. Until April 2023, United States delivers Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine. Not many. 1 battery initially. Then a second. Patriot is designed for ballistic missile defense, specifically to intercept threats like Kinzhal. But whether it can actually do so against Mach 10 plus target, unknown until tested in combat. 3 questions. We'll answer them at the end. Is Kinzhal actually hypersonic in meaningful military sense, or is hypersonic just marketing for air-launched ballistic missile? Can Patriot reliably intercept Kinzhal, Or was May 16th engagement a lucky success against weapon with inherent countermeasures? And the critical one, does interception of unstoppable hypersonic missiles prove they're overrated strategic weapons, or does it just mean Russia's specific design is vulnerable while other nations' hypersonic weapons remain genuine threats? The official narrative celebrates American technology defeating Russian propaganda weapon. True, but incomplete, because the Kinzhal Patriot engagement reveals uncomfortable realities about hypersonic warfare that both sides would prefer to obscure. Let's examine what hypersonic actually means and why it matters less than claimed. Definition: hypersonic speed is Mach 5+. That's it. Just speed threshold. Not inherent capability. Not magical invincibility. Just velocity above 5 times speed of sound. Many weapons are hypersonic by this definition. ICBMs during re-entry, Mach 20+. SLBM re-entry vehicles, Mach 20+. Standard ballistic missiles, Mach 15+. Some older systems, Mach 5-10. Hypersonic isn't new. Ballistic missiles have been hypersonic for 70+ years. Air defense systems have been intercepting hypersonic targets since 1960s. The speed alone doesn't make weapon unstoppable. What makes hypersonic weapons potentially dangerous? Factor 1. Reduced warning time. Faster weapons arrive sooner. Less time for defender to react. But only marginal improvement over existing ballistic missiles. Kinzhal at Mach 10 gives 3 touted 4 minutes warning from launch to impact. Standard ballistic missile gives 4 to 5 minutes. The difference is real, but not revolutionary. Factor 2. Maneuverability. True hypersonic cruise missiles can maneuver during terminal phase. Makes interception trajectory calculation difficult. But Kinzhal maneuvers during mid-course, then follows ballistic trajectory terminally. Standard ballistic missile behavior. Air defense systems designed for this. Factor 3. Low altitude flight. Hypersonic cruise missiles can fly low, reducing radar detection range. But Kinzhal flies ballistic arc reaching high altitude. Easily detected by radar. No stealth advantage. Factor 4. Terminal speed. Impact at hypersonic speed delivers enormous kinetic energy. But most ballistic missiles also impact at hypersonic speeds. Nothing unique about Kinzhal. Critical insight: Kinzhal is air-launched ballistic missile with higher mid-course speed than ground-launched equivalents. But terminal behavior is standard ballistic. Air defense systems designed for ballistic missile defense can engage it. The hypersonic label is technically accurate but operationally misleading. Russian propaganda conflated speed with invincibility. Speed matters, but not as much as claimed. The myth was always vulnerable to reality check. Stay with me. What happens when Patriot engages Kinzhal reveals why the interception isn't guaranteed victory. The cost math is brutal. Patriot air defense system. American designed. In service since 1980s. Continuously upgraded. Current version deployed to Ukraine. PXE-3, Patriot Advanced Capability 3. System components: radar, AN/MPQ-65 multifunction phased array. Detects and tracks targets 150 plus km. Can handle 100 plus targets simultaneously. Discriminates between threats and decoys. Provides guidance data to interceptors. Command post engagement control station. Operators select targets. Authorize launches. Coordinate multiple launchers. Battle management software prioritizes threats. Launchers. Each launcher holds 16 PAX-3 missiles. Battery typically has 3-8 launchers. 48 128 interceptors total. Missiles, PAC-3 MSE. Missile segment enhancement. Hit-to-kill interceptor. Direct impact destroys target. No proximity warhead needed. Speed, Mach 5+. Range, 30-35 kilometers altitude, 100 plus kilometer horizontal. Cost, complete battery, $1 billion to single PAC-3 MSE interceptor, $4-6 million, radar and command equipment, $200-400 million, training and logistics, substantial additional cost, designed specifically for ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, aircraft. The system was built to intercept threats exactly like Kinzhal. May 16th engagement details, reconstructed from available information, 2:43 a.m. Russian MiG-31K launches 6 Kinzhal missiles. Launch detected by Ukrainian early warning. Flight time 3-4 minutes. 2:44 a.m. Patriot radar acquires targets. Tracks incoming missiles. Calculates trajectory. Determines interception points. The computer math is complex. Each second of delay reduces intercept probability. Fire control decision: engage all 6 targets. Multiple interceptors per target due to high value and high speed. Ripple fire. Launch PAC-3 missiles in rapid sequence. Total missiles fired, estimated 2436. PAC-3 interceptors for 6 Kinzhal targets. 4 to 6 interceptors per incoming missile. Standard doctrine for high-priority ballistic missile threats. 244:47 a.m. PAC-3 missiles climb toward intercept points. Terminal guidance activates. Onboard seekers lock on to targets. Kinetic kill vehicles maneuver to impact. Multiple interceptions occur at various altitudes. 2:47 a.m. All 6 Kinzhal missiles destroyed. 0 reach targets. Defense succeeds completely. Cost of defense, 2436. PAC-3 interceptors at 5 million average. 180 million. 6 Kinzhal missiles at 12 million average. 72 million. Russia spent 72 million attacking. Ukraine spent 180 million defending. The cost exchange ratio favors attacker. Even though defense tactically succeeded, offense won economically. This is the brutal mathematics of missile defense. Defense costs more than offense, sometimes much more. Sustainable only with external support. This is Military Report. Real tactics. Real consequences. May 2023 through March 2024. Russia continues Kinzhal strikes. Not every strike is intercepted. Pattern emerges. Scenario 1. Patriot available and positioned. High interception rate. Multiple successful defensive engagements. Russia loses several Kinzhal missiles to Patriot. The weapon is demonstrably interceptable. Scenario 2. Patriot unavailable or out of position, Kinzhal succeeds. Hits targets. Ukraine has limited Patriot batteries. Can't cover entire country. Russian timing and targeting exploits gaps. Scenario 3. Patriot ammunition depleted. After extensive use, Patriot requires resupply. Interceptors are expended. If Russian attack occurs during resupply gap, defense fails despite system presence. Russian response to Kinzhal vulnerability. Response 1. Increase salvos. Instead of 6 missiles, launch 10-12 simultaneously. Attempt to saturate Patriot. Force Ukraine to choose what to defend. Sometimes succeeds in overwhelming local defenses. Response 2. Decoy integration. Mix Kinzhal with cheaper missiles and decoys. Force Patriot to engage everything. Deplete interceptor inventory. Economic warfare through ammunition expenditure. Response 3. Electronic warfare. Jamming attempts against Patriot radar. Limited success. Patriot is jam-resistant, but any degradation helps. Combine EW with saturation for maximum effect. Response 4. Targeting Patriot. Attempt to locate and destroy Patriot batteries with other weapons. High priority target. If Patriot is destroyed, Kinzhal becomes effective again. Cat and mouse game. Response 5. Reduced Kinzhal employment. Russia scales back Kinzhal strikes. Expensive weapon. Limited inventory. Not sustainable if high loss rate continues. Preserve remaining missiles for critical targets. None of these responses solves Russian problem. Kinzhal is interceptable. The invincibility myth is shattered. Credibility is damaged. Future sales to foreign customers are questionable. Ukrainian challenge. Patriot works, but is expensive. Each defense costs more than attack. Sustainable only with American resupply. Political and economic vulnerability. If U.S. support wavers, defense becomes unsustainable despite technical success. November 2023. Reported incident. Russian Kinzhal strike on Patriot battery itself. One Patriot system allegedly damaged. Requires repair or replacement. The countermove succeeds. Shows Patriot is vulnerable, not invincible. The hunter becomes hunted. Context matters. Patriot damaged while successfully defending target area. Intercepted multiple missiles, including those targeting it. Mission accomplished despite own damage. But the vulnerability is real. Systems can be overwhelmed or destroyed. Strategic implications. For Russia, Kinzhal failed as unstoppable wonder weapon, still useful against undefended targets. But against modern air defense, success is not guaranteed. The propaganda advantage is lost. Military utility remains, but is limited. For USA, Patriot proves capable against hypersonic ballistic missiles, validates decades of investment in ballistic missile defense, but cost-exchange ratio is unfavorable. Need cheaper interceptors for sustainable defense. For China, observing carefully. China developing hypersonic weapons. DF-17, DF-21, DF-26. If Russian Kinzhal is interceptable, are Chinese equivalents also vulnerable? The question drives Chinese development. Must assume Patriot equivalent systems can intercept. Design accordingly. For other nations, hypersonic weapons are not invincible. Can be defeated by sophisticated air defense. But defending is expensive. The technology advantage is real but limited. Economic sustainability matters as much as technical capability. Which factor most determines successful interception? A. Patriot technological superiority. B. Kinzhal design limitations. C. Operator training and tactics. The answer reveals whether other hypersonic weapons face same vulnerability. Keep watching. Technical analysis of why interception succeeded. Factor 1. Kinzhal trajectory. Air-launched ballistic missile follows predictable path after powered flight ends. Terminal phase is ballistic. Patriot's intercept algorithms are optimized for ballistic targets. The predictability enables interception. Factor 2. Patriot radar, AN/MPQ-65, is powerful. Can track hypersonic targets. Discrimination capability separates warhead from debris. Provides accurate targeting data. The sensor quality matters enormously. Factor 3. PAC-3 kinematics. Interceptor has sufficient speed and maneuverability to reach intercept point. Hit-to-kill approach works against hardened ballistic missile warhead. Direct impact destroys target regardless of armor. Factor 4. Doctrine. Multiple interceptors per target ensures high probability of kill. Expensive but effective. American doctrine prioritizes success over cost. Ukrainian operators follow this training. Factor 5. Integration. Patriot operates as complete system. Radar. Command post. Launchers. Communications. All components work together. The system integration provides capability no single component possesses alone. Kinzhal vulnerabilities. Vulnerability 1. Ballistic terminal phase. Follows physics. Can't maneuver arbitrarily at hypersonic speed. Intercept calculations are solvable math problem. Vulnerability 2. Single warhead, no MIRVs. No decoys during terminal phase. Makes discrimination easier. Defender knows exactly what to target. Vulnerability 3. Limited stealth, large radar signature. Hot exhaust during powered flight. Easy to detect and track. Surprise is difficult. Vulnerability 4. Predictable launch signature. MiG-31K operations are detectable. Limited number of launch platforms. Launch locations are known. Early warning is possible. Vulnerability 5. Cost exchange ratio. Even when intercepted, forces expensive defense. But if interception rate is high enough, attacker loses more value than defender. The break-even point matters. Does this mean all hypersonic weapons are overrated? No. Means Kinzhal specifically is vulnerable to Patriot specifically. Other hypersonic weapons have different characteristics. Chinese DF-17, hypersonic glide vehicle. Depressed trajectory. More maneuverable than Kinzhal. Potentially harder to intercept. Unknown if Patriot can engage effectively. Russian Avangard, ICBM-launched hypersonic glide vehicle. Mach 20+. Extreme maneuverability claimed. Designed specifically to evade missile defense. Uncertain if any system can intercept. U.S. hypersonic weapons. Various programs. Designed with Russian, Chinese air defenses in mind. Likely incorporate features making interception difficult, but also likely vulnerable to sufficiently advanced defense. The arms race continues. Better hypersonic weapons versus better defenses. Neither side achieves permanent advantage. The cycle persists. This is Military Report, where we break down the battles that change wars. Broader context: Russia's strategic weapons portfolio. Russia invested heavily in invincible weapons: Kinzhal hypersonic missile, Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle, Poseidon nuclear torpedo, Burevestnik nuclear-powered cruise missile, Peresvet laser system. Purpose: overcome Western missile defenses. Restore strategic balance after NATO expansion and U.S. missile defense deployments. The political messaging is as important as military capability. Kinzhal was supposed to be proof of concept. Operational system demonstrating Russia's technological parity. Exportable to friendly nations. Deterrent to Western intervention. Reality proved. Mixed results. Works against undefended targets. Vulnerable to advanced air defense. Expensive. Limited inventory. Not game-changing. The gap between propaganda and performance is significant. Consequences for Russian credibility. Domestic. Can still claim success against some targets. Narrative control allows selective reporting. Population doesn't see failures. Propaganda remains effective domestically. International, foreign militaries, and intelligence services see reality. Kinzhal is interceptable. Russian wonder weapons are overhyped. This affects arms sales, alliance dynamics, strategic calculations. The credibility damage is long-term. Russian military knows weapon limitations, must adjust tactics, can't rely on invincibility, forces realistic operational planning, potentially beneficial if leads to better doctrine. Let's answer the three questions now. Is Kinzhal actually hypersonic in meaningful military sense or just marketing? Kinzhal is hypersonic by definition, Mach 5+. But hypersonic doesn't mean unstoppable. The weapon is air-launched ballistic missile with high mid-course speed. Terminal phase behaves like traditional ballistic missile. Maneuverable enough to complicate interception, but not enough to guarantee evasion. The military significance of hypersonic label is limited. Reduced warning time compared to ground-launched equivalent, but not revolutionary. Air defense systems designed for ballistic missile defense can engage it. The marketing oversold the capability. Technical reality: Kinzhal is capable weapon, just not invincible. The hypersonic label created expectations technology couldn't meet. Propaganda backfired when tested against sophisticated defense. Can Patriot reliably intercept Kinzhal, or was May 16th lucky? Evidence suggests Patriot can reliably intercept Kinzhal under appropriate conditions. Reliable means high success probability when system is positioned correctly. Adequate interceptor inventory available. Operators trained properly. Intelligence support provides early warning. All factors present. May 16th wasn't lucky. Was demonstration of system performing as designed. Multiple subsequent interceptions confirm. The success is repeatable. But reliable doesn't mean guaranteed. Limitations exist. Limited coverage area per battery. Finite interceptor inventory vulnerable to saturation attacks, can be targeted and destroyed, expensive per engagement. Patriot works, but isn't perfect. Provides effective defense within constraints. The success is real but conditional. And the critical question, does interception prove hypersonic missiles are overrated or just that Russia's design is vulnerable? Complex answer, both factors matter. Hypersonic missiles are overrated if hypersonic implies invincibility. Speed alone doesn't defeat air defense. The physics of intercept at high speed is solvable. Expensive, but possible. But Kinzhal specifically has design features making it more vulnerable. Ballistic terminal phase, single warhead, limited maneuverability. Other hypersonic weapons may be more capable. Chinese and American hypersonic programs likely incorporate lessons from Kinzhal failures. Design for greater maneuverability. Deception. Multiple warheads. Lower signature. The next generation will be harder to intercept. Patriot success doesn't mean hypersonic weapons are useless. Means specific Russian design is vulnerable to specific American defense. The arms race continues. Neither side achieved permanent advantage. Future outlook: hypersonic weapons proliferate. Defenses improve. Cost per intercept decreases through technology, directed energy, cheaper missiles. Offense-defense balance remains contested. No side dominates permanently. The cycle continues. The quiz answer: which factor most determines successful interception? A. Patriot technological superiority. 40-50% contribution. Kinzhal has limitations. But capable defense system is what exploits those limitations. Without Patriot's radar, intercept algorithms, and kinetic interceptors, Kinzhal would be much more dangerous. Operator training matters. Kinzhal design limitations matter. But technology is the enabling factor. Sophisticated radar detects and tracks target. Advanced interceptors reach and destroy it. The hardware capability is foundation for success. Other air defense systems, S-300, NASAMS, couldn't intercept Kinzhal reliably. Patriot can. The difference is technology. American investment in ballistic missile defense proves value. But technology alone isn't enough. Need: good training, adequate inventory, appropriate tactics, early warning, integration with broader air defense network. The complete package determines success. This is Military Report. Subscribe to Military Report because preparation defeats improvisation. March 2022 through March 2024. Kinzhal Employment Summary. Total launched, 60-80 missiles estimated, Russia doesn't disclose. Successful impacts, pre-Patriot, 30-40 estimated successful impacts, post-Patriot, 10-20 estimated intercepted by Patriot, 15-25 estimated cost to Russia, $200 million in Kinzhal inventory cost to Ukraine, Patriot interceptors, $500 million estimated strategic assessment. Kinzhal provided Russia with capability against hardened targets. Invincibility claim proved false. Patriot demonstrated ballistic missile defense capability. Cost-exchange ratio favors offense, but success rate favors defense. Neither side achieved decisive advantage. Lessons for military forces worldwide. Hypersonic weapons are interceptable with appropriate systems. Hypersonic label doesn't guarantee success. Modern air defense can engage high-speed targets. Defense is expensive but possible. Multiple layered systems provide better protection than single system. Economic sustainability matters as much as technical capability. Implications for future warfare. Hypersonic weapons will proliferate despite vulnerabilities. Air defense systems will continue improving. Arms race between offense and defense continues. No permanent technological advantage for either side. Cost-effective intercept systems, directed energy, become priority. Integration and networking become more important than individual platform capability. Was Russian weapon works but isn't game changer. Propaganda value exceeded military utility. The investment would have been better allocated to mass production of proven systems. Was American investment in Patriot successful? Yes. System performed as designed. Validated decades of ballistic missile defense research. Proved value of technological superiority. But exposed cost vulnerability requiring next-generation solutions. What would you have done differently? As Russia, don't oversell capability. Maintain realistic expectations. Design for evasion, not just speed. As USA, accelerate development of cheaper intercept systems. Current cost per intercept is unsustainable long-term despite tactical success. The hypersonic revolution didn't happen. Hypersonic evolution continues. The weapons are real, useful, but not magical. Defenses exist, are expensive, but effective. The technological competition persists without decisive advantage for either side. The invincible weapon that wasn't. The unstoppable missile that stopped. The propaganda that met reality. And reality won. Kinzhal flies at Mach 10. Patriot intercepted it. Physics doesn't care about marketing. Engineering beats propaganda. And the myth died in Ukrainian skies. This is Military Report. Subscribe, because we break down the battles the textbooks will study for decades. The weapon that was supposed to change everything. Jan proved that no weapon is unstoppable when opposing side has technology, training, and determination to stop it. Mach 10 isn't invincible, just fast. And fast isn't enough. Stay vigilant.